Hello and welcome to day 16 of the Form a Day Challenge by clevr. My name is Kareem Cooperhouse, and today we're going to look at a series of forms, the student registration forms. And we're going to look at two different versions of student registration forms. And the reason I want to do that is because I want to talk about workflow and process. Traditionally, software vendors require you to adapt your processes to the way their software is built. They have a conception of what a process should look like, and consequently, they've built their software accordingly. The architecture is built around that, and you have to conform to it. Sure, you'll have some opportunities to adapt this or change that or play around with these fields, but fundamentally, you have to adopt their way of doing business. Well, clevr takes a different approach to forms automation. We don't think that it's up to you, the school district, to adapt to us, but rather the opposite. We should be adapting to your way of doing business. And this is the power behind the clevr platform. It's flexible yet robust enough to allow you to build your workflows, build your forms as you see fit. And I'm going to show you today two examples of that. We're going to look at student registration forms. It's February. It's that time of year where you start opening up registrations for the following school year, or at least garnering the intent of your parents that want to return. So let's look at two forms right now. And I say forms, they're really a series of forms, right? The registration process is lots of different forms put together into a packet. And so let's look at the enrollment form here for one district that we designed. And let's click into one of these students, just so you know that's fake data. And so the way this district designed their enrollment process is that they have 6 different forms, right? Or my apologies, 5 different forms broken up into different tabs. So as the parents come in here, they pick their school, the school year, do they have home internet? Very important. What grade are they entering into? And so on and so forth. And this is really general information that they're putting in here. The next one is the enrollment tab. And the enrollment tab is really where they're putting in specific information about their children. Maybe they have more than one. Household members, relationships, date of birth, and so on. Secondary residence, in case that's important. Last school attended. Did they have an IEP? Was there a 504 accommodation plan? What is the home language survey? What is the custodial information? So you can see this is getting very granular. And, if the people have any questions, there's these little bubbles that show up. Lots of drop downs, yes or no questions, and this is going to drive other processes throughout the district. And then here we're in as super administrators. So obviously we see the office use only section. Parents would not see this section over here. And again, lots of drop downs. As I come back up to the next tab, it's the health history. So here we're garnering a lot more information about the students. And you can see that some of these questions get really granular. And the beauty behind all this is that every single field in a clevr form could be a searchable field. So I can know exactly across all my new registrations or existing registrations how many yes or no's I have for each one of these questions. And as I scroll down, more risk assessment and a sign off. I come back up, we're looking at parent registration statements, and there's an affidavit that needs to be signed off on, right? And so on. And then the last section is the permission for exchange of information. And this is a blanket where they can go and check it all off or check specific things and put in some institutions that they want to authorize. And again, there's an office use section where this is only available to the office use and the parent will not see this. So this is one way of doing the student registration process. But I want to show you another district. This is a different district and their registration process is different. They have different things that they want to, or different ways that they want to capture data. So obviously, the first tab again is similar to the other one, where they're garnering, general information about the parents, and there's an acceptable use policy. The parents have to sign off on it, submit. Handbook, sign off on it and submit. And then medical information, just like the other one, but done differently. Student allergies, trip release, and then there's even a payment section where parents will be able to pay their registration fees. But this particular district wanted parents to be able to come in, returning parents, to say what their intent was for the following school year. Yes, they're returning. No, they're not. And if they're not, is there a specific withdrawal date? Maybe they're not going till the end of the school year. And so you can see how these two processes, although they're both dealing with the same content, right? Student registrations, they're doing it differently, and they're creating tabs differently, and they're putting in different fields. And so this is the power behind clevr. It's that flexibility to create your forms as you see fit, to create your workflows as you see fit, to create your processes as you see fit, and to design everything exactly the way that will meet your requirements and your district's needs. And remember, as I said before, every single field here is a searchable field that can drive reporting. So every time that somebody clicks on something, you can report on that. Every time that somebody says yes or no, you can report on that. And that becomes very powerful for a district for evidence-based decision making. So I hope you've enjoyed this a quick view of a couple different registration forms, student registration forms. It is that time of year where these forms become available to parents. So something to think about, probably too late for this year, but something to think about for next year as you look at your student registration process. Thank you for joining me for the Forms a Day Challenge. Stay tuned tomorrow for more forms.